Night of the Living Dead opens with something already wrong in a way nobody can quite agree on. A trip out to a rural cemetery, a strange encounter that doesn't resolve itself, and a sense that normal explanations are going to stop working pretty quickly. And then they do. What happens is just people trying to manage a situation that doesn't respond to manners, logic, and authority. Plans fall apart, arguments repeat. It's all about what still holds when things start to separate under pressure. Which is why I've always trusted Newman's own blue cheese dressing. Not the light stuff, not the safe one that looks like it's afraid of dairy. The blue cheese. The one that shows up already loud, already funky, already acting like it's been left outside a polite conversation on purpose. Because when the situation turns, you don't want subtle. You want something with enough bite to survive the room.
Let the movie speak.
Welcome back, as Annie would say, dear listeners, which is, as I've called that before, her John McCain's My Friends.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
Do we have any more politicians, famous, like, I don't know, like every
I really
all
try to
y'all's
avoid
phrases? We can go further back than now because, you know.
Those politicians, I try
What Bill
to
Clinton
avoid.
had one. What was Clinton's? You know, he was like, well, I feel your pain was the thing. But what did he call? Whose pain was he feel? I'm gonna stop right now.
Maybe edit this out
We're
in
just
post
gonna
as well.
Snip it.
Who was that, Travis?
Who was what?
We just heard.
It's
someone.
Megan. Welcome back, Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing all the Pedro Pascal faces on your shirt.
If only they could see.
That would be creepy. Like our movie today. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Hey, Travis, I have a question from the crowds.
Yes.
I crowdsourced this from our commenters.
Yes.
When are we going to have a video element to this podcast?
Who asked this question?
The answer should be never.
Was it her?
No.
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 The answer is no. When? No. I think we've been very clear about this on mic before.
No, I don't think we have. This is why I asked.
What the frick? We will never be on camera. If you could see us, you would be
When
shocked.
I picked out my outfit for this,
Yes.
I was like, I remember Travis promising there would never be a visual
No.
element.
I think we have been very clear off mic. So
Okay.
I thought we should bring clarity.
I can check the archives,
To
but
the mic.
let's say it once more for the microphone.
No.
You will never see our faces. Ever. Ever. Because we have nothing to offer in that department.
Oh my gosh. Should we just...
Megan, are we going to take that?
I don't know, man.
I
don't
said
know.
we.
Yeah.
I was including my own uggo-ness in this. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Let's
that
move
doesn't
on.
make it better. Yeah.
Speaking of uggos,
Sure.
how was that for a segue? Today we're going to talk about 1968's Night of the Living Dead, but not before we talk about what we watched this week. Megan, what did you watch this week? Or what do you want to pretend like you watched this week?
I know this is going to be a huge shock to everyone, but I watched horror movies. I saw Send Help, which is directed by Sam Raimi, and it's a
Yes.
little bit more of a dark comedy, I think, than a horror. But that's with Rachel McAdams. They're stranded on an island. It's big fun. It's campy. It's a little gory. It's over the top.
It's a little gory.
By my standards,
It's
bro.
insane. And the freaking boar sequence.
The boar sequence was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I liked Send Help.
Yeah, it's
but I
funny.
really like Sam Raimi. Although I kind of feel like if it was 15 minutes shorter and wrote that 15 minutes out of itself, you know, the kind of end on an end thing. But everything up to that, I loved. Like Rachel McAdams is delightful.
A vision. Yeah, she was super good.
The guy in it is good.
Dylan O'Brien.
What's his name?
Dylan O'Brien, I believe.
What is he in? Send Help.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
in Send Help.
He's pretty good in it. He's pretty good in it. He's an awful character, but like
Yeah.
playing it well. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I really liked it. Last time I had said I love the like good for her angry girl genre.
It'd be one of
They
those.
fit right in. So,
Yes.
And then I saw Obsession, which
Yes. I still haven't seen yet.
oh Travis,
But I've heard it's good. It's making
It's-
some moolah.
it really is. And they shot it in 20 days,
Yeah.
which is wild. And everyone in it is basically an unknown. The
Yeah.
main actress, who I think was brilliant. She was like a streamer. She like played video games online. And this is her first big role. And I think she knocked it out of the park. It was insane. Very scary. I was scared. I was jumping and screaming in the theater.
Nice.
Yeah. So 10 out of 10 do recommend, but only for horror fans. And you would
I'm
not enjoy.
going.
You wouldn't like it.
Let's go, Annie.
You would hate it.
I probably would.
What did you watch this week? That wasn't Obsession.
It was not. It was horrifying in an entirely different way. No,
Uh-oh.
that's
A documentary.
That's not
The
That's
news?
probably not fair.
The news.
So I am on a very slow, long-term goal of becoming a completist with a couple different directors. And one of them is the Coen brothers, and I'm almost there.
Nice.
Yes.
But I just watched Inside Llewellyn Davis. Llewyn. I always say Llewellyn is a different Welsh name.
You're not wrong.
Llewyn
Correct.
Davis.
2 L's, but it's
Llewyn.
Llewyn.
And the log line on this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Like the log line sounds like exactly what I would love, right? The actors, the setting, all of it. And it was fine.
Oh, no.
The music is amazing, right? So like the music is top level. But then you're just kind of watching a miserable man be miserable, and he's Oscar Isaac, so you don't mind.
You don't mind what you're watching.
You don't mind watching a miserable man be miserable, but
Not
in the
that
end,
man.
that's kind of what it is. There is one scene where he's on stage playing music with Adam Driver, which I thought was
Oh my gosh, that's
Funny.
That sounds really great.
it's well, and,
And
Justin
Justin
Timberlake.
Timberlake.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
The
what?
three of them do a trio.
It's amazing.
It's so good, but it's also like
It's the only silly scene in the movie.
and because it's a silly song, they're singing a very silly song.
But is the rest of it
Mr.
pretty bleak?
Kennedy. Uh-oh. It's like a novelty song.
Yeah.
That, like, he's a real singer-songwriter and he like sells out by doing some studio time, and then he gets in there and they're doing this like commercial dreck
Yeah,
awful song, and he's just like strumming in the
it's
back.
like some space race something.
What even is that song for?
It's people loved
the
novelty
radio?
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, like the musical numbers are great. I loved them.
Yes.
The rest of the movie was fine
So it's not a musical, but there's
No.
scenes where they are.
because
It's basically a musical.
It's
Like-
about a musician.
Got
So he's going around trying to get gigs, and so you see him play a lot.
It's a musical as much as like Once is a musical.
Okay, gotcha,
Which
gotcha.
is like there's music in every scene
music in it,
basically.
yeah.
So I mean, like the actors are doing really good work, and that's all great. But you know, it's a miserable man being miserable,
Yeah.
and
Too
it's
bleak.
shot beautifully because it's close.
Oh, Roger Deakins,
It's all good,
my boy.
but also meh,
Meh.
sad. Okay.
I'm gonna edit all of that out and tell you that Inside Llewyn Davis is an incredible film. You should all go watch it immediately. One of my favorite Coen Brothers movies.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
And nope, you're done.
He said, "You're wrong."
No, I love that movie, but I especially love the music. I especially love the music because it's like it's insane how they put the album together. Like the music compiled. It's like, you know, you have like Mumford and Sons and people that are like kind of modern versions of what the 60s
Sure.
folk music scene has evolved into in a lot of ways. But Oscar Isaac also just does all his own music and is an incredible musician.
Yeah.
And like no one really cares, which is crazy to me because he was like in Star Wars and other stuff. But like you go back and you watch it now, and he did like Tonight Show appearances, plugging the movie. He just pulls out a guitar and he just sings like that on national television. And it's like, oh, you're like incredible. At
Oh,
this.
if you just clipped the music scenes,
Which is just go to Spotify and listen to it.
like I would adore it. I would love it. But
Yeah, it has some of my favorite. Like
there is a funny running gag with a cat
it's
that
pretty good.
I was amused by. So
Almost like the movie I'm going to talk about. Actually, the movies I'm going to talk about.
okay, what are they?
Running gags with cats, Megan. What movie series has a
Oh.
running gag with a cat that you know of and are very fond
Interesting.
of? The Hunger
Wow.
Games.
In a million years, would not have
Oh,
landed
come
there.
on.
Come on.
Okay, wait.
Yes.
I've seen those.
Uh-huh.
There's
The
a
OG
cat?
Hunger Games or one of the?
Yeah,
well,
she
her-
hits the cat. The cat loves her sister.
Her sister's
The cat
cat
won't
is-
die.
Oh.
You know, there's like this whole thing.
I
okay.
wouldn't describe it as a running gag.
It feels like it in the movies because the cat's not in like, you know, the arena.
Not with her.
If the cannon went off, the cat's face is there. Okay. Anyway, my daughters, who are 12 and 10 respectively, I think I called her 8 earlier when we were talking. That was rude. She's 10. They have both just read the original trilogy of the Hunger Games in pretty short order, and I incentivized them because I was like, we watch the movies when you read the books because they've seen stuff around that level. It's a bit more dour than the other stuff that they've watched, but they loved the books, and so I got to rewatch the movies with them, and I just there's 2 series that exist that I think are just a cut above.
Yeah.
Twilight and
No. Harry Potter.
Yep.
Consistency of how good the movies is wild to me. Even though there's some low points, but like by and large, very good movies. And these ones are so well done. That being said, like the first one is a pretty good adaptation of the book, but does not have the director juice that the other ones do, because Francis Lawrence took over in the second movie. And as soon as the second movie starts, you're like, oh, a good director is behind the camera now. You see it, like you see it in the storytelling, like the visual storytelling, but you also just see like shot selection is like 10 times better.
Right, way better.
All this weird like scratchy editing in the first one that feels very dated, and it's still good. But like movie 2, movie 3, movie 4, I'll say they're all excellent now. Back in the day when I read and saw Mockingjay, I was like, this book sucks.
Right.
Like I got to the 3rd book and the first 2 are so solid. You get to the 3rd book and I did not like it. I didn't like the way
the ending is.
Here's what I'll say.
There's a lot
of
conversation to have about it.
Yes. I didn't like it. Like I thought the writing wasn't as good. I thought the story was not satisfying. Saw the movie and I really liked Mockingjay Part 1 because the ending is so cutthroat and insane.
Yes.
For
where
sure.
like the ending of the movie is Peeta just like is gone. Like,
Right.
he's there, but he's just like dead, like gone forever. And I was like, that's a great ending. End it there. And then the second movie happens and all the crazy stuff. Having lived through the last decade of my life, I'm not joking. Like I have a 10 and 12-year-old who are like, this is what the rise of fascism could look like, and blah blah whatever. And like watch your main character resist, evil authority in the way that Katniss and Peeta and others do. Man, there is a coldness and a not nihilism, but just a hard, concrete truth telling to the way Mockingjay wraps up when it's just like it just happens again. That like you see it the first time and you kind of think like this is a bit lazy. Like, this is not like real resolution, and you're like, nor is the world.
Nor is the world. Nor is the world.
And so it really worked on me this time. Everything about that story worked on me this time. Sans, I don't really understand what they do with Gale at the end. I think it's kind of stupid, but good movies.
I do think Harry Potter's a step above Hunger Games.
I think one is trying to world build and one is trying to just hold a mirror up.
Sure.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Harry Potter does that too.
Right.
There's things like it, but like,
no, Harry Potter's not satire or
social commentary.
No, it's not. Yeah, well, like Zootopia level, like racism bad, but we got it. Understand? Like we can see it. Yeah,
that movie is for littles, Travis. It has to be a little bit direct.
That is totally fine. I like that movie, but it's not like subtle, right?
Right.
And Harry Potter's a lot more nuanced.
I appreciated that, and so.
You read
Dear
all the
listener,
My
I
friends.
was late to the Hunger Games, and when lockdowns first happened, a friend of mine just like had always been bugging me to read them, and I'd be like, I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah,
and she just showed up in my driveway like April
with a bow and arrow and a bowl of berries.
It was like April of 2020, and she just showed up in my driveway, and she was just like, "Read these. You have no excuse." I'm like,
Amazing.
fine.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, I just read through all 3 of them and then watched the movies.
Yeah.
So all like.
Well, you don't normally gravitate towards dystopian stuff.
No, but I've read a good amount of it. Like I love Cormac McCarthy's The Road.
Yeah.
Like I think that's astonishing.
That makes the Hunger Games look like Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
So I like dystopian when it's done intelligently.
Yeah.
But no, I was in like, again, April 2020, and I'm sitting there reading, I think it was the second book.
Such a bad choice.
Like I had a full blown panic attack, like, and it was just like the stress of the world. And then like the stress of the world I was reading. I'm like, this is not escapism.
Yeah. I got to take a break and watch like Sound of Music or something.
Exactly. Like,
What
this
is the
not
opposite
good.
of escapism? Arrivism.
Oh,
I have arrived.
Social commentary.
No, I have arrived.
interesting.
Speaking of social commentary.
Here we go. Take it home, Travis.
Yeah, let's talk about Night of the Living Dead. Well, let's just go around with any background information, and we can all say if we've seen this before and any interesting background tidbits that are worth contextualizing the movie. I have seen this movie a dozen times, I'm sure.
Okay.
Annie?
This was my first time.
All right.
This was also my first time.
That's crazy.
Okay, but it is completely predictable that I hadn't watched this
I
before.
know, it's a
but
shame.
how had you never
You're
watched
welcome.
this before?
Let me explain.
That's bizarre.
I know. So once I did start it with my dad,
Yeah.
but I didn't start my horror journey with the classics.
Yeah.
So I was sort of desensitized where I was just like, this is lame. And I wasn't appreciating the film and its
yeah.
importance. And I'm so embarrassed to say I did fall asleep.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I was young.
understand why you did that.
Right. Watching it now, appreciating it, I was like, obviously, it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
And I have seen the other one, the like 80s or 90s remake, which is not as good, obviously.
Not as good.
Not as good. But I really was shocked as I sat down and processed that. I was like, I can't believe I haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
Because the MGM Monster classics and all that stuff I've seen. So this was like my last first watch of like a classic horror.
Right.
Great.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. What's an interesting context background tidbit, Megan?
A tidbit. Oof, so many good tidbits. I was surprised that this was Romero's debut.
Yeah.
I was very impressed, and I did not know that.
It's very bootstrappy, this movie.
Yeah.
In all the ways.
Right.
In some very entertaining and like interesting ways when you're watching it, but also the story behind the movie is sort of as interesting as the movie on screen.
Absolutely.
So his first movie, what else? I mean, this is one of the most profitable independent films ever made.
Yep.
It was made for $114,000 and made $30 million.
Except all that money.
He didn't get much of it.
He did
No,
not.
it all
The
went to the
royalties debacle.
It all went to, well, the royalties debacle, so they forgot to put a trademark on it or whatever that
Something
is.
like that.
Fell into public domain.
It fell into public domain, and he just didn't get a lawyer when he signed his paperwork.
He was
so,
just a guy making a movie.
and
How
like,
old was he?
It all went to the distributors. So
I think he was like 20 something.
Oh.
Yeah. So it made this giant profit, which he didn't really see. It got considerable criticism for the gore, which was not normal at the time.
And the blackmail lead. People were.
That was a new thing as well.
That was very new.
Very new, and not everybody was on board with it.
No, they were not.
Shockingly. What else, Annie?
I don't think I have anything.
Zombies.
Yes.
This is the first.
Although it never uses the word.
They don't
It
use
does
the word
not.
zombies. We all know zombies now because it's like this culturally ubiquitous genre. It's its own genre of movie and TV show. And like The Walking Dead has 40 seasons and 9,000 characters and literally built AMC into the brand that it became. But zombies and the rules and the ideas that we know from film, like this movie lays out all the big ones, which is
Right.
like, they eat people,
Shoot 'em in the head.
shoot them in the head. The way they look and like move around until people got bored with that and started making them run and stuff. All that stuff comes
One
from
of them
this
runs in the
movie.
beginning.
A little bit.
A little bit.
He stumbles down a hill and doesn't fall. He does better.
Barbara falls a couple times. Barbara falls a lot.
She does.
Barbara.
Sweet Barbara. Delicate Barbara.
I want to talk about Barbara. I want to talk about Barbara.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we talked about ratings in the Planet of the Apes episode and how that booty cheek infested movie was
A G.
rated G. G for no.
No.
Don't you do it.
Gigantic bunch. Because it was widescreen.
Oh boy.
Anyway, this movie was released right like a month before ratings were applied. They existed, but they were applied across the board on every movie that hit theaters. And Roger Ebert famously wrote that like he was really concerned for the kids that were in his theater when he was reviewing it, which is insane.
He like scolded parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad he scolded parents and
not the
like
kiddos.
the people who made the movie.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not George Romero's fault that, you know, his movie
But
wasn't
he made
rated.
a scary movie.
Yeah.
And that people thought it was a good idea to bring small
Tiny
children to
children.
something called
The Night of
of
the
the
Living
Living
Dead.
Bring the kids. Do you have any more background context info? I have one more piece. For,
This might be lame, but
let's hear the lame one.
I loved in the opening sequence when they drive into the cemetery and the cemetery sign is very like old and dirty and almost looks like, you know, maybe teenagers hit it with a stick while driving by or something. I just felt like that was really good foreshadowing. It gave me a little chill and I liked it.
Because we do decades on this show, I feel like this is the thing we should go right into the movie discussion from. So this was very ragtag, very bootstrappy, low budget. You know, they found this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere that was going to get torn down anyway. So they dressed it up so they could make the movie so that they could tear it down a week later, kind of a thing. Lots of friends as extras in the movie and, you know, homemade stuff. They finished this movie, and the minute they were done editing the movie, they throw the film canister with reels into the trunk. George Romero and the producer, and they're like, "We're going to New York. We're going to see if anybody will screen our movie like tonight." And on the way in the car ride on the radio, they hear that Martin Luther King has been assassinated. Which, when you think about this movie and the ending, is pretty crazy. So,
Yep. That's
well, Megan, you already talked about the opening kind of entrance into the graveyard sequence, and I love the opening 2 shots of this movie. It's like, you know, you can tell it was shot on like 16 mil, or no, it's shot on 35 millimeter, but they had to edit it on 16. So it's a super janky like process. But I watched it on HBO Max, which is the Criterion like 4K full restoration, and I'm like, this thing looks amazing for the fact that it cost $1. Like the opening road and the car driving up the road, the titles just go bam. We talked about Planet of the Apes not having any atmosphere.
Right.
Instant atmosphere.
Yeah.
you know?
instant.
My first note is that started fast.
Yes.
Like there's no build up. You're just in it.
My first note was incredible opening.
Yeah. The more George Romero you consume, if you choose to, which you may not,
Right.
and you might have already, or you may do more. His movie, like this guy was and, you know, continued to be just like the classic kind of like artsy, angry hippie, like classic counterculture guy.
And I love it.
Okay,
Yes.
for the people
Yes.
and me.
Yes.
What else did he make?
A whole lot of zombie movies.
Well, I mean, anything. I mean, I did assume that anything beyond the zombie.
pretty much no.
Just zombie
He
movies.
did Night of the Living Dead. He did Dawn of the Dead. He did Day of the Dead.
Okay.
He did Land of the Dead.
Do you know the first zombie movie I ever saw?
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Hey, which you enjoyed?
Because
Great
it's
movie.
British comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a really good send
And
up
it's
of the
Can
genre.
I
Hilarious.
just quickly shout out a friend of mine that is
Yes.
his favorite zombie movie?
Is
And
Shaun
I'm
of the
so
Dead?
excited that it got mentioned on this
That's
podcast.
fine. Yeah.
I love all Simon Pegg's movies.
They're
They're
all good.
great. They're
He
all
is
good.
hilarious. Yeah.
Well, and like so endearingly, sincerely in love with the things that they're sending up. So
Right.
like that movie really loves this movie
Right.
and movies that came after it. And like Hot Fuzz loves
Yes.
freaking Point Break and
Yeah.
you know whatever. So this movie looks amazing. I'm shocked by how good it looks, especially because we're watching it in contrast. I watched this and Planet of the Apes very close together. Planet of the Apes is this giant budget, huge
Glossy.
vistas and crazy makeup and everything. And I feel nothing while I'm watching
Right.
it. And then this movie starts and it starts quickly. The script is like so like simple and economical, but like takes a couple moments to be a little on the flowery character
Well, and
driven
some
side.
of it was improvised as they were going.
Yeah.
It felt that way.
Yeah.
Felt like improvised by actors who actually care about like not just collecting a paycheck. So the opening scene is kind of iconic. The "I'm coming to get you, Barbara" line. You know, first zombie appears, and we're there. Well, like this is the movie.
The brother, Johnny,
Yes.
I felt like he is the precursor to the trope of when you watch, especially ensemble slashers now, there's always the really douchey guy who doesn't take anything seriously.
The goof.
Yeah,
Yes.
the goofball who dies 1st. And watching it, it was amazing to see how many tropes I saw that came from this.
Yeah, and this isn't like a slasher movie,
Not
but
at all.
that character type does exist
In a lot of horror.
in the ensemble like horror.
In zombie
story.
movies, disaster movies, slasher movies.
All of them.
So you get the graveyard sequence, which she gets to the farmhouse quick.
Yeah.
You know, she seems like she's going to be the lead.
Yeah. I wrote down final girl question mark.
Yeah. And like, you know, technically.
Technically, you might be the final girl.
Technically, she
is
was the
she-
final
She's
girl.
an A final girl,
Yes.
capital F, capital
Yes.
T.
Is she the original useless female?
I would love to hear the female's perspective on this character because I think everything that's happening in the house is interesting to me, including what she's doing.
I don't know. There's two parts of me. So she basically goes catatonic on the couch
Yeah.
for almost the whole movie.
Most of the movie.
Most of the movie. And there's part of me that's like fair. You
Yeah.
know, like you're in a horrifying situation, like that is a completely reasonable stress response.
People do this.
This is a way. But on the other hand, ugh, girl.
Okay, but
I felt the exact same way, Annie.
Like just
yeah.
get off your couch.
In Planet of the Apes, there are two female characters. One gets turned into beef jerky 10 minutes into the movie.
Okay, well you're not giving what's her name? Vika
Well, okay,
ape woman.
I'll get to her. One is
Beef jerky.
no, I already said beef
Oh,
jerky.
okay.
Beef jerky 1,
Yes.
mute 2,
Yes.
says no lines.
Yes.
3 is ape, is scientist.
Is ape is
Yes, you hear me right. She does okay for herself.
does.
But you know, that's what you get in that movie.
Yeah.
In a cast of 200 people in this movie, how
yeah.
many female characters are there?
There's Barbara.
There's 3.
Yes.
Well, isn't
Yeah.
it even?
Well,
isn't it even?
I think, yeah,
It's
it's three.
about
There's the
even.
wife of Jerky
Two men.
McDoucheface.
Jerky McDoucheface.
Helen. Yeah, Helen. And then,
the girlfriend, the wife, and her.
and
Yes.
the daughter.
Yeah. Oh, the daughter.
She's
Thank
comatose most of the movie, though.
you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She.
Wait for it. Wait.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, so I mean there was like a part of my mind that it was like
Yeah.
justified response, but the other part of my mind was like, girl,
Yeah.
Absolutely
Like,
the same. Absolutely
go
the
block
same.
a window.
Okay.
I tried to watch it in the context of this is the 60s. And so I tried to look for empowering moments. I like the moment when she runs and trips, but kicks off her shoes
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
gets up and keeps running. But I had to fight my instinct to be like, oh, she's so annoying. Like, stop crying, lock in, you know. But
In
then
1968, telling her to lock in would be nothing. She'd be like, lock in what?
I'm locked in the house. What are you talking about?
We are locked in.
We are locked in. But I tried to look at it through the lens of, okay, for the 60s, was this a relatively empowered female character? I think no.
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 She
No, I don't think she's an empowered character.
I like that she wasn't a love interest. That
Yes.
was nice.
yeah.
Quite the opposite.
But I do feel like, yeah, the sort of useless female trope was definitely
Yeah.
she's all delicate and fainty and
Yeah.
blonde.
Yeah. I just think everyone in the house being who they are is interesting. Like, I think like having 6 people react to something so insane and shocking and, you know, people would be in shock.
Absolutely.
Certain people would be in shock. It could be anyone. Could have been a guy, could have been a gal, could have been whatever. No one else is like frozen like she is, but you know, no one else saw their brother get killed in
Yeah.
front of their eyes. So I just think like, you know, you got her type. We can go over the people in the house because the whole movie is she gets to the farmhouse and here are the people in the house and they contend with the zombies and make a plan and see what happens. The lead who comes in late,
Ben.
right? Ben, the lead, played by what's his name?
Dwayne Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He is like a serious theater actor that George Romero like has an entire other like archetype for this character in mind, just sort of like a blue collar truck driver kind of guy. And he sees this audition, he just changes the part
Yeah.
for
Yep.
him and says like, no, he could be more erudite. Although that would not be the first word I'd use to describe him, but like intelligent, resourceful, like right, like
Serious.
serious and like but
Capable.
all the things. Played by a black man, obviously not like a thing, you know, by and large in 1968. Okay, and then you got husband and wife. Husband is like, you know, bossy, pushy, also a coward.
Yeah.
Wonderful combination.
Yeah, we love them.
Cooper was his name, yes?
Cooper.
Cooper.
Yes.
We
And
hate
then
Cooper.
And so he and his wife and his daughter have been hiding in the basement.
Helen, the wife.
Helen is the wife, yeah.
Daughter, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Zombie girl.
He has a name.
Yeah.
And
Little Miss
then they
Bloody
get
Face.
joined by another couple.
Then you got the nice young couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. All the things that are happening in those conversations to me are like an interesting little, because it's improvised, because the actors are taking it really seriously, and because Romero covers it like visually in a way that is always interesting to me. Like the close-ups are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The way he captures groups of people in this compressed environment, but also with like a crappy camera, really good lighting for the money they had. Like
Absolutely.
all it's just like all good to watch. And the character work is interesting, where like this is not like Shakespeare, right? This is not like you know, what's his face who wrote The West Wing? Who's
Sorkin.
Yeah, like Aaron Sorkin did not write
You
this
don't want
dialogue.
Aaron Sorkin to write this.
Yeah, they're all doing
First off, it would become a 3-hour movie.
they're all doing a walk and talk around the tiny living room.
There's 8 monologues back to back
Aaron
to back.
Sorkin could not handle characters who don't speak.
That's
He
true.
could not handle that.
But I feel like you get a little piece of all of them in this like 90-minute movie, and I am convinced that all these people exist.
Yeah.
And that's all I want out of a 90-minute zombie movie that's also trying to provide social commentary. So why don't we talk about some sequences and moments that worked well, or, you know?
Okay. So I'm very much on the record for not liking scary movies.
Yeah. Annie,
What
what
did
did
you
you think
feel?
of this movie?
Did you
Tell
think
us
it
your
was scary?
feelings, Annie.
I have a similar response to my response to Jaws, which
This
is like
isn't scary?
It's not scary.
That's valid.
It's not valid.
Hey.
This
Silence,
is
male.
a great, scary movie
I will say the moment.
full of strong female characters.
No.
Fair enough.
I will say, like when the zombie hands are coming through the windows,
Yeah, they
and
get
grabbing.
you one time. They go boom and really get you.
Like that was creepy. Like that was, but that was
The
a
jump
minute or
scare,
two.
the face at the top of the stairs when she's stumbling up the stairs and sees the
I
kind
didn't
of
mind that.
no.
You didn't mind that. She's fine with corpses just going. Bah!
So no, I feel like I watched it wrong in that
No,
I watched it alone. Like
okay.
I was watching this movie just being like, I want to be like 15 years old at a slumber party where
Yeah.
everybody is like
Yeah.
throwing popcorn at the screen and
Yeah.
yelling at people. Like
Sure.
that's like this to me feels like it was built for a communal experience.
yeah, like a theater.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I was like watching it, by myself at home and went, I wish there were people here with me to
Don't you love that she says, I wish I was I was just watching it by myself at home and I was fine. That's when I get the most scared of things.
But I think I would have really loved being in a communal
Sure.
space to see this movie.
Okay.
Far be it for me to ever
Yes.
disagree with
Oh no,
you,
are
goddess.
You
but
are oh, I like you.
I like
Okay.
you too.
Everybody settle down. Come on.
Please disagree. Please disagree.
I understand what you mean about it. Okay, it's like a popcorn movie. It should be we're all hanging out. As I watched it, so I went into it expecting that kind of movie.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be campy and the old timey gore and this is gonna be fun. I really appreciated watching it alone, and I had a candle on and windows open. I could hear the breeze. You know? And I really liked. I do think the zombie genre is overflooded and done to death and just so bleh. But the freshness for me was that it was a little more serious and a little more anchored. And while, of course, I consume modern horror at an just untenable rate, so nothing scares me anymore.
Your brain is broken.
My brain is so broken. Let's talk about that after. But
Your hour starts now.
I was very. That was in my notes that I was like, this isn't like a fun, campy kind of laugh at it with your friends and eat popcorn. It's like there was a heaviness and a
this
darkness
guy
to
made
it.
a real movie.
Yes,
Like,
a great film.
Yeah.
And I understand it not being scary because it's old and you're like, the blood is chocolate syrup. But it was scary in a way that when I thought about it, I got chills. Like I thought about being in that scenario as a woman or as a chicken. And I was like,
As a
this would be
chicken?
because I'm a chicken in real life.
Not a literal
Not a
chicken.
literal chicken, Annie.
as a woman or a chicken or a river otter or a seagull,
As a reanimated corpse.
as a baboon.
I ruined
As an
it.
ape,
I ruined it.
a talking ape.
As an ape scientist, a woman in STEM.
I was
A woman in STEM. Oh boy.
Anyway.
I was confused. All right.
I'm so sorry.
So as a coward.
Yes, as a coward, like these cowardly characters. And I was thinking, oh, this is terrible. And then I was thinking, how would I feel though if that was real? If I was really in a house and you have to figure out how to do teamwork or be practical, or do I just look out for me, or do I work with these people? And it was not upsetting, scary, like when I watched The Conjuring and like ghosts jump out at you, but upsetting in the theoretical kind of esoteric, like, is man the true monster way.
Yeah.
So more thoughtful than I thought it would be.
And I think I've read enough history to know that, I mean, yes, this is about zombies, but there are plenty of people who have found themselves in scenarios similar to this, right? Being trapped in a small space and with no escape and just trying to live. I felt that way when the main character, Ben,
the goat,
ends up in the basement. Like, I think my brain kind of went there at that point where I was like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of like the most like gut wrenching parts of this are the human drama things that I find. Like I really think that it's hard to watch, honestly, because you like the lead character is done so well. He's like positioned so well. He's played really well. But like when he is like just trying to shake her into her senses and she's like, we have to go get Johnny. We have to go get Johnny. She slaps him and he just like decks her.
Yeah.
It's like one of those moments where we're like, unfortunately, we've been watching a bunch of old movies. So we've seen women get punched in movies.
Quite a bit.
And sometimes it's like, what the heck? And
Right.
in this case, in that scenario, I'm watching it and I'm like I kind of see it coming.
Yeah.
And then he does it and I'm like, that was bad, but I understand why it happened. You know what I mean? Like it creates icky feelings that are really like interesting. And then when he then immediately becomes her defender because she cannot speak or defend herself, you know, his whole line to Cooper where he's like, look, if you're going to be upstairs, you're going to take orders from me. And then includes never, just don't talk to
this
her.
girl again.
Don't talk to her.
I loved it.
That's really interesting. Like having to watch the young guy choose whether he's going to stay upstairs when the way I read things is like Ben and Cooper are more similar ages.
right.
And he's a black man and he's a white guy and they're both trying to be like, here's what we should do. I know best.
Yes.
And so there's this like unwritten part of that, which again, like I don't think Romero originally intended, but because it's played by this actor, because that ending exists with this actor, I don't think any of these things were necessarily intended to be like, this is my treatise on the civil rights, you know, issues we're having. It all just plays like with some real meat on the bone.
Yeah.
meat on the bone.
Right.
And so like when the kid has to choose, make that decision, and you see like the youth make the choice to go with the clearly more capable, more sensible black guy.
Yeah.
The more heroic.
Yeah, the more, you know, less cowardly,
Yeah.
more, you know, thinking on his feet than the older.
Driven by anger, isolationist
it's
guy.
like-
Fear.
It's all very like naughty, like thematically
Right.
to me. The stuff with the wife, the stuff with the girlfriend. I think it's all really interesting.
Yeah, it's rich. There's so many moments of, like when he's talking to his girlfriend and he's saying, we're not going to make it if he stays down there and some of us stay up
Yeah.
here. Like there's such
Yeah,
a
he's
tension.
saying like we need to work together.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like the young one.
The young one.
Well,
yeah.
and I think that's the wife and the girlfriend aren't strongly dissimilar, right? They're kind of going back and forth but what I liked about it, we talked about like this is a realistic way humans would respond to emergency, is those two women, not Blondie on the couch, but
Right.
the other two women do what kind of women stereotypically do, which is make a plan, like cooperate.
Yeah.
And so you have the men all positioning for power and authority.
Oh, yeah.
And you have
and the women looking out for
and
each
the
other.
women-
and the child.
the women banding together to
you know-
take care of the child and to
Do you know what
and
the
to
wife
cooperate.
says at one point? Like,
Why
her
don't you do anything for anyone else?
Yes.
I
she
love
says,
that
like,
line.
Why don't you do something for someone else? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Excellent.
preach it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's one of the best things anyone says in the whole movie.
I think it's the young man.
Yeah.
but it might have been Ben. One of the other men goes, "It's tough for the kid that its old man is so stupid."
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That conversation is great. I love movies like this that are like, okay, so it's like a tight 90 basically. It has one idea, cram a bunch of characters together, and it's sort of like there's these conversations are intense and kind of dramatic, tension driven and whatever, and then there's the crazy idea of like there are flesh-eating zombies outside. But the tension like happens, and when it happens, it's like kind of like oh crap, like really like hands busting through the window,
claustrophobic,
or like trying to get the gas for the truck. Like it's this really intense like few minutes, and then it's like back to the house, quiet, and everything. It forces you to like kind of get into this weird rhythm of like silent, secluded, and then like anything can happen.
well,
That's-
it's war theory, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you start looking at just literally two armies,
Yeah.
against each other and making forays and returning back
Yeah.
to your safe space. And it's,
Romero would go on to be vehemently anti-Vietnam in his next couple
Right.
zombie movies, so that's interesting. I also love like I think the Cooper and Ben clashing in this is so interesting and good. My favorite moment is when he goes out to do the thing with the gas in the truck. That moment is so awful
yeah.
because it's like a total accident, and like not one of those stupid horror movie things where like, well, why did you do that? Of course you're going to be stabbed now or whatever. Like they're just in a panic.
Yeah, they're
Right.
just trying their best.
And it's a stupid old fashioned gasoline
Yeah.
pump that just sprays gas everywhere. And
Yeah.
he's like, watch the torch. And before any bump build up, it just already
It
happens.
happens quick.
Boom.
Yeah.
And the young couple extra crispy recipe.
The way she delivered, that was crazy.
Travis specializes in similes and metaphors for death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it was delicate and
usually-
understated and beautiful.
Usually
Thank
have
you.
something to do with food.
Okay.
Maybe I'm hungry.
Road pizza, squished grapes.
I've said
Oh,
road
no.
pizza. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna
Jerky?
say this is gonna be less poignant.
Yeah, no. Go on.
The way the girlfriend in the truck delivered the line about her sweater being stuck,
Yeah.
it chilled me.
Yeah.
I loved it.
She's really good.
She's really good, and she doesn't just go, my sweater, it's stuck, and yank on it. She looks at him and kind of chokes it out, whispers it like stuck is like the main thing you hear, and then and it's heartbreaking.
Movies like this should not have acting this good in it.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, I would forgive way worse acting.
Right.
Like I would argue that this movie has better acting in it than Star Wars.
Woo.
Like you watch Star Wars and you're like, Star Wars is an amazing feat of filmmaking, but then Luke goes like,
Oh,
but
I
I don't
mean-
want to get Toshi
Like,
to
I'm
buy
sorry,
power
Mark-
converters.
Mark Hamill is
And
not bringing it in that first movie.
no, he's green, right?
Yeah.
And even like the other end of that like spectrum is Alec Guinness just being like, I'm an old British actor delivering monologues about the Force. And it's fine, but it's not really good acting.
No.
It's not earth shattering.
No.
And and I love Star Wars, to be clear.
We know.
I'm looking at the Mandalorian's helmet on my shelf. But like this movie, this feels like theater actors
Yeah.
who were like, this is a scrappy movie, but we're just gonna like give a crap about everything
Right.
we say. And I think that makes it so much more interesting when he comes back in from the gasoline sequence and he's trying to get in the door and Cooper's just standing there.
Staring.
He's like, I'm not gonna open that
I'm
door.
not gonna open
Or
the
is
door
it
for him.
I read on his face, I'm thinking about it, but I'm too terrified.
Yep.
And then he kicks the door in and they have a look.
Yeah. Oh
Where,
man.
where he looks at him from across the room like, you did not just not open this door for me. And then he beats the ever living crap out of
Which
him.
is so satisfying. I'm like, take it, Cooper. You
Little
deserve
things
it.
like that.
Yeah.
So
Really
I mean,
good.
what this movie did for the genre is everything.
Yep. It created it.
Yeah. And,
Cannot be overstated.
And weirdly, like a dumb little $115,000 movie just was like, they eat people, shoot them in the head. They are slow and dumb. And everyone was like, got it. All
Got it.
four of those things forever, basically.
yeah, we're sticking. Oh, can we say one thing about the dumb though? I will
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it was upsetting to me
Yeah.
that the zombies there was some
They were using
intelligence.
tools
Yeah,
and stuff.
picking up rocks, breaking the lights in the car. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't like that. That's
But
upsetting.
they
Yeah.
could, early on, they did that early on.
Yeah.
But then there was one scene where it's like, I think Ben is talking to girl on the couch who I'm sure has a name.
Barbara.
Barbara.
They're
And
coming to
spelled
get you, girl.
Kubaba.
They're coming to get you, girl, on the couch.
And he's like, it's from her perspective looking at him. And he says to her, "This place is boarded up pretty solid."
Yeah.
And right behind him, you just see this like open window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just glass.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, they trust the glass.
Yeah.
They have watched the zombies
Break
smash,
the glass.
break the car lights, but those
there's-
glass windows.
Well, because the zombie broke the glass in the car as well. And then he
Yeah.
followed Barbara to the house, and then she locked the door behind herself. And I was looking at the scene like, so there's windows everywhere.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Well, and
how has he given up on the rock this quickly?
I think there's things about this for like if I were George Romero and I was like, this is a scary idea. Here's what can happen in it. Here's how we can subvert, the basic rules we've set up. They're dumb, except at the end when they need to break in, they pick up rocks
and smash.
and there's other stuff that's vague enough that I'm like interested in how it works, but I'm not giving any answers.
Sure.
They don't like fire, but like light in general. When he notices that like the fire scares him, he's like, get the lights on in here. So the
Yeah.
lights stay on for most of the movie until the power goes out. The minute the power goes out,
Yeah.
that's when they pick up rocks and really bust in.
That's true. That's
Ooh.
true.
Which is a weird
That's true.
thing.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I have no idea if Romero was thinking this hard about it, but it seems like the longer they are zombies, the more deranged they get.
Yes.
So maybe when they're first reanimated, there's still some trace, because like the guy at the beginning runs and they're in the graveyard. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming he just raised. He runs and then later they all amble and shuffle.
Yeah.
And spoiler, the girl at the end, she has just turned, right? And she uses a tool.
Yes,
She uses a little
she
shovel.
does.
So I'm like, maybe they retain some humanity.
And then it fades.
And it fades because the news also, they were like, there's been a bunch of murders. And then later they're like, so now we're getting reports that they're eating human flesh. And as fantastical as that seems, enough people are reporting it that we believe this is happening. So maybe they start off a little more human-y and then kind of devolve.
like we do.
I was much more human-y early in life.
We get dumber as we go.
Speak for yourself.
What if this is a metaphor for watching TikTok? You slowly
sure.
lose your humanity.
I'm sure that's what Romero was thinking
Romero.
about.
George
in
Romero was thinking about AI.
1968.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
I do think this movie has a really good legacy because it does two things. It like accidentally like backed its way into a lot of interesting stuff thematically, and I think he's really good at doing something that Planet of the Apes last episode did bad, which is like I'm going to talk about basically like one or two ideas, but they're going to get turned over and actually discussed and visualized in interesting ways. I'll put an ending on it that makes you just go like, rather than just like, let's talk about everything in the universe, but
Right.
go, just like
And
1
not
inch.
to throw Rod Serling under the bus, but because I think he was good at this when he was writing Twilight Zone. But I think if you go story first, if you go narrative first, you will, if the story is any good, end up saying something.
right.
But if you go ideas first,
It makes a crappy story sometimes.
yeah, and then your idea sounds dumb. So, I have no idea what Planet of the Apes was doing, and that was last week.
It
and
is a
so
book. You could read it.
I'm not going to.
Well, you should.
She said, I will not be doing that.
But I think that's what's going on here. Like he's going narrative first. He's trying
Yeah.
to tell a good story.
Yeah.
And he's limited by so many things that he just can't bite off too much.
Yeah. And, there's a theory floating around out there that limitations, increase creativity.
John Carpenter agrees. Another horror master guy. Like he says, like, I do my best work. Well, his worst movie is his highest budget movie, the Invisible Man thing with Chevy Chase. Is a
Right.
terrible movie.
Yeah.
And then when he had to make Halloween for $1, it's like the best horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
I want to talk about two more things.
Okay.
I want to talk about the trowel
Yeah. Oof.
and the ending.
Can I talk about the gore real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trowel or otherwise, gore it up.
So I had to look up the stuff about the gore because I was just like, this is an
Are you
old
talking
movie.
about the eating people gore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like that he saved it up, like
Yes.
there's scary stuff with them grabbing and you know what they want, but you don't see a lot. And then the sequence where they're kind of shuffling past the camera and they're sort of hunkering down and then you really start to see entrails and guts.
Yes.
I just loved that. I loved it. I thought it was a really cool
Well,
sequence.
and they waited until you knew
Who it was.
Who it
who it
was.
was.
It's
And
a
I-
young couple.
yeah,
it
and it makes
wasn't
it
it wasn't just, oh, here's people eating people. It's here's people eating people
you got to know.
You got to know and
who were close. They were on the brink of survival.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to make it. And that
makes it worse.
So they were near a sheep farm. And because their budget was super small, they got donations from the sheep farm, just entrails and stuff. So the scene where they're grabbing around at like the long stringy parts, which I'm sorry, that's graphic, but it's a zombie movie.
It's intestines.
Yeah, it's intestines. They had to fill them with water so they would show up on camera because they were already kind of old, which so gross. So gross, but a fun tidbit. And then the scene where the lady has a bone and she's actually biting into it because the people fight over the entrails, but they don't bite into them.
Yeah.
Anytime the zombies are actually biting into human flesh, it was ham.
Covered in chocolate syrup.
Chocolate syrup to make
Which
the blood all
then
gooey
made them
and black.
all nauseous and
I'm sure.
made the makeup better.
Right. I just think it's so cool because it's so low budget. They had 3 ingredients. They had ham, they had chocolate, and they had leftover sheep entrails. But that sequence is really good.
It's so effective.
It's so effective. I was reading that some people were saying the reason they found it so scary is it felt too realistic. They felt like they were watching a documentary.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, he underplays, he uses the music very specifically. He uses camera angles very specifically. So when the camera's still and they're sort of shuffling by, it's very creepy.
And it echoes the news footage.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so good is that he uses this news footage and radio show
all the way through it.
all the way through. And so then when the camera is imitating the news footage that you've been watching,
it's like cold and indifferent. Yeah.
I thought that sequence is so disturbing. Like, I'm already like in on the movie, and it's like I feel like it's so much less campy than people assume that it is.
Totally.
There's not a lot of like silly B movie nonsense in it, other than the idea of like zombies rising from the dead and eating people. That like I actually like have to like wince at that sequence because of what you said, because you know who it is, and you really don't see, like, you see a couple of like measly squibs when people zombies get shot or whatever. I find that to be really, really icky in a good way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ending, because I think it's
Heck of an ending.
it's such a crazy good ending.
Did you want to talk about the trowel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, The Trowel is just an example of like it's a movie that was made in 1968. You already mentioned, I think, Psycho. It's very Psycho. Did you mention Psycho?
I don't think I did. I wish
you
I
said
had
chocolate
though.
syrup.
Oh, chocolate syrup.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Okay.
Hitchcock famously used Hershey's syrup, I think, in the shower scene because it was black and white. They used Bosco in this one. It doesn't matter. I love that sequence because the homage is so strong, but it's also like a complete disgusting like reversal.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's her parents.
Yeah, well, and in Psycho, who is it, right? It's like
It's the guy is
Norman
the mom.
playing his mom, stabbing Janet Leigh in the shower, and in this, it's the daughter stabbing the mother. It's just a lot of weird movie and conversation with movie. It looks like Psycho, except it's like the nasty $100,000 version with a trowel and a basement, and so it's really effective. The ending is also effective, but I always find myself like wondering why. Like, why is it so effective to me? And it's like, well, if we look at it through a 2026 lens, it's like you've got just like a mob of white dudes with rifles walking through the town, doing their thing, and they see a guy in a building and take a pot shot at him. And in this case, he happens to be black, and they go, "Yep, another one for the fire. Stack him up." And like historically in context, especially just knowing that they like had the reels in their trunk and they heard about MLK getting set. It's crazy. Like,
Also,
it's crazy that happened.
It is crazy. The decision to move from footage to stills
That is so
brilliant.
and like so harrowing.
Yes. Oh my! I was like clutching my metaphorical pearls. Like it was so upsetting.
Yeah.
And it, again, with the political context, it rings so. You're thinking of lynchings and newsreels and oh my gosh, the hooks.
They're showing them just like grabbing him with meat hooks.
Yeah, and tossing them.
Yeah.
It was harrowing. That's a good word for it.
I did appreciate that they're looking at him. So that there's a guy who is literally shooting zombies in the head to save the town from the zombies. Like the shooter is, I don't want to say doing good work, but like he's doing what needs to be done. Like, and they just see him. They see Ben. They just see movement in the house. Like, they don't shoot Ben. For bad motivations. Like, it is. in fact, there's a sense they never even know
that he was a human.
that he was human and that he hadn't been turned into a zombie. And so that puts this other element. It's not just like an evil guy with a rifle.
I've heard it argued both ways. Weirdly, like I'm on your team.
That's the way I saw it.
It looks like just a fast, like no thought accident.
Yeah,
which makes it even more interesting. But I've also heard people say like, no, they just shot him because he was black.
Interesting.
And I'm just like,
well,
I don't see that. I do think there's some commentary on the danger of like mob mentality and vigilante, just the hastiness of it. They didn't check. There was no sense of responsibility to see.
But why didn't they check?
Why didn't they? Do you think it's because he was black?
I'm just saying, I've heard this argument before where they're like, if it was the blonde who was like standing there peeking up out the window, they would not have shot her in the head. And I'm just like,
true.
I don't know. But like this is made by a lovely angry hippie in 1968 who was probably like at every march, and I don't know.
So like he first imagined that character being played by like a burly white truck driver type.
Yeah.
And
because he was in Pennsylvania, like Pittsburgh or whatever.
And so one question would be like, did the ending change? Like, was that always going to be the ending for that character?
From what I read, which because I really liked, I was like, this is so cool. It's a black lead. Like, that's amazing. From what I read, he did not change the role. He picked Dwayne. Yeah, because he was the best actor.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's really good.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not writing a story or a role that is for a black character. The story is not about his existence as a black man in the 60s, which is actually really progressive. And according to what I was reading, that might have been why it was more controversial, because people would have expected to have some like heavy-handed racial elements, or even for him to be like a worse guy.
You could absolutely take, like, I know it's improvised dialogue, whatever. Just like take this actor out and put in a white actor, and the movie still works.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was having a conversation this morning with one of Travis and my colleagues, who is not artsy, but is desiring to be. The question he asked me was like, when you're reading literature or poetry or, movies, whatever.
When you're reading movies.
I knew as soon as that came out of my mouth. I'm like,
have you seen Train to Busan? It has captions.
I watched
zombie movie that I read.
I watched this
zombie movie that I read.
The question was like, do you take storytelling at what the author intended?
Sure.
Or is there room for interpretation?
Yeah.
Or is it just, I think what he said was, is it what the author intended, or is it anything you want?
What you get out of it.
As the receiver. And I was like, no, it's in the middle, right?
Sure.
Like author intent matters, but interpretation, if it is rooted in the text, rooted in the movie, then it's fair. And so I look at a movie like this and I was like, well, the text is not about race. That the original intent had nothing to do with race. But when you watch it, it is reasonable to interpret it that way because it's in the text.
Well, and I think it shows that Romero is a very good artist because he existed in the context and the heaviness of that time and the racial tension in 1960s America. And so even if that was not his intent, which he said it was not, a good artist always tells the truth.
Right.
And I think that the heaviness and the critique, like it just so clearly, he was an aware man who cared about what was going on in America at the time. And so he didn't have to come in with a really blatant or heavy-handed message. We just can't help but see it there because
he let the movie speak.
Incredible.
10 points to Annie.
Yeah, I tipped my cap. That was beautiful.
Our segues have been so good today. Started with presidential greetings into, I don't know, something else. We have to answer the two questions. Would you rewatch it, and how often would you rewatch it? I'll start if you want. I rewatch this movie once a year.
All right.
This is in the Halloween rotation.
Okay.
And I always think like, I love this movie, such a great movie, and then I'm done and I'm like, what have I done?
I've been
I become Jean
brutalized.
Valjean. What have I done, dear God? What have I done? Because it's so freaking good. And I think it's a really good gateway movie for people who kind of like horror but don't really watch old movies. I'm like, throw that on and see what you think.
Well, and the other way, like people like me who like old movies.
Yes. Yeah.
But aren't really
Like
drawn
big
to
horror,
horror.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I think it works both ways.
It's got stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's got stuff going on.
I would absolutely watch it again. I would love to watch it with people who haven't seen it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Come over
I
Halloween
s-
and we'll watch it with my 12-year-old.
Nice.
I still stick to I would rather watch this in Community than alone.
Come over on Halloween. We'll watch it with his 12-year-old.
Megan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah,
This is terrible. I'm so sorry.
No, this worked out really well because you were going to interrupt me.
Yep.
But we planned that you were going to interrupt me.
And instead I giggled.
And then you giggled because you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say what you want to
I'll
say?
just say I'm not an actor, Travis.
Yeah.
So Alec and I promised I would shout him out. We have a brilliant
Oh, yeah.
idea to rip you guys off and do our own podcast.
Right.
Instead of Let the Movie Speak, it's going to be Let the Movie Spook.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about horror movies because we
Which-
love horror.
I can start an umbrella.
I don't.
A spin-off.
Hey, as
guys
long
can
as
get
we
royalties.
roll in
Yeah.
that sweet
Yeah.
cashola, I don't care.
Yeah.
We do some horror movies on here.
Yeah.
Not enough is the.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
I'm
what
rudely
I'm
implying.
asking you. Not enough?
Not enough question mark?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I end my show
Now
now?
you may end your show.
Well, Annie, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Megan, you might be able to come back. No, I'm just kidding. No, we have 2 episodes left in this season. One is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and one is the wrap up, which it's in the oven and it's baking.
Mm-hmm.
But Megan, you are included in the plans for the wrap up somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
The cake hasn't set yet.
Gotcha.
No, before we eat that cake, we need to stare Stanley Kubrick in his giant weird eye. Bye.
Let the movie speak.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
John,